Hi guys, this is Jeff from Railway City Hobby. Today we are at Pierre Oliver's on his Cayuga Sub representation. It's also featured in the 2018 layout planning, the publication from Comback. And today we have the new Athearn Genesis 484 with Loksound, not Tsunami. It has this one comes factory equipped with Loksound. This is an FEF-3 number 844. 844 was also 8444 when the Jeep 30s came in, and the number had to be changed for that number series. And after the Jeep 30 was retired, the 484 regained its number 844. So right off the hop, you'll notice that it's on track power now, so your number board are on. You have your steam line in the front, your coupler cut lever across here, handrails going up on either side, your smoke deflectors, your bell, and you got your number board on either side of the pilot light, and also the crest underneath the headlight with depicting 844. From the side, you can see the handrails going down the side here. You can see all the valve gear here. You can see all your cranks and rods there. You can see the actual whistle up here. And on the actual tender, as you can see, this is an oil burning tender, so this was after the changeover. I believe it was 1952 when they started changing over from coal to oil. And again, you got your bearing caps all across each bearing on the centerpiece tender here. You got your separately applied ladder up the side. You got your separately applied handrail on the sides here. You got your top of your water hatches here, and your metal etched grill walkway over top where the two oil derricks would be. And from the rear, you can see the rear red light, which illuminates when it is going in reverse. Your coupler cut lever here, go into the coupler. Your McHenry coupler, knuckle coupler in the back, and you got your number board UP844. And from the other side, again, you can see the handrail at the top, all on the side of the boiler here, and then you got your sanding dome at the top there. And if you look really closely, you can see the sanding lines on each wheel, as well as the brake discs there, or the brake shoes. Again, you got your lots and lots and lots of fine detail. I honestly couldn't even tell you what this piece is, but it is a very, very crisp detail on it. And if we rotate towards the back, the cab, again, you can see the windows here on the cab, and very, very crisp and clean printing on the side of the cab. One of my complaints about this locomotive is how the tender is coupled to the locomotive. As you see, you just give it a good pull, and it is only coupled by a little C-collar there, and it couples back up the same way, just a little bit difficult to get it coupled back up, because you have to line it up inside there, like so. So now it's coupled up. This can be a problem. Just gonna put the tray back down. This could be a problem if you got a heavy load. I think the locomotive will stall before the before it comes uncoupled, because it is a stiff coupler. Over time, this may be an issue, as the plastic may fatigue, and you may experience the tender becoming uncoupled from the locomotive. Other than that, that's my so far first only complaint about this locomotive. There could be some more coming down the line. So we'll get it set up and we'll start going through some of the sounds and lighting. So we'll be right back. Alright, so we're back at the shop right now. Temporarily we have a track set up on the desk. We're working to get the store up and going. So at this point, this is what we use to do the sound samples for this. So again, you got your headlight there. Sorry, we're going to also just demonstrate dimmer, which is F7. So we'll turn the light on. And then F7, dimmer. If you would like to have the headlight on but not hear the dynamo noise, you use F23. And so bell again, F1. F2 is your longhorn. F3 is your short horn. Okay, so then F12 again is your stoker. is F-13. Ash dump is F-18. Okay, F-19 is your blowdown. F-21 is your grade crossing sequence. I think that's pretty awesome. That sounds ultra realistic to what I see in the videos of this train running in 2016. The people that had been chasing it and pacing it from the side. Well, you could hear that iconic horn in the videos in that sequence. It sounds awfully similar. And so those are all your sounds that. There's air horn F-14, F-24, which, as far as I know, this doesn't come with an air horn, but we'll play it anyways. It doesn't have an air horn. I don't know why they put it on, but it's there. So that concludes the sound file portion of this. Alright, so we now have the pull bar test set up, so we're going to start off with the first pull, so here we go. Okay, we have a first pull of 80 grams. Let's make sure that's not going to come unhooked there. Okay, second pull. We got another, this one's a 75. Was showing 80, and it went to 75. And the last pull. And we got another, we got an 80 just at the end there. So not bad, considering it's not using any rubber tires, any traction wheels. It's comparable to most. Actually, it reminds me of my brass 484 the Toby 6200. Its pull bar is around 85. So for a steam engine, considering you only got 8 wheels, 4 axles as drivers, it's not too bad. Actually, I think it's pretty good. And also we're noting that the tender has not come uncoupled from the locomotive, as I was previously discussing. Again, that could happen something over time, but in this instance it has not come uncoupled. I don't believe the locomotive has enough traction effort to pull it apart. We'll continue on with some more shots from Pierre's layout, so we'll return back to the Cayuga Sub in St. Thomas. F4 is the drive hold, which we'll try to demonstrate later. It's not. It's a little bit different than a diesel drive hold, in the sense that when you engage the drive hold, it locks the locomotive at a certain speed, but and when you engage it, it holds that speed, and what it does is when you turn the dial up or the dial throttle on your controller, the chuffs get more deeper and louder to simulate a heavier load. Vice versa, if you turn the throttle down, the chuffs become quieter, or if you turn it right to zero, then you don't. All you hear is the valve gear going, like the actual rods and whatnot. F9 is your couple clank. F10 is the brake application. This is only an application when the locomotive is moving. It works like an independent brake and will bring the locomotive to a stop regardless of what speed step you are on, and will not move until you turn the function off. And F11, you won't use this, but F11 is the for coal shoveling. This is an oil tender. So we'll actually start going forward. So you can hear the cylinder cocks opened up. We'll actually slowly get going forward. That's speed step 4. We're just going to keep going by. Just so we can see the rear light here. Okay, so when we go in reverse, the light illuminates and it is red. Go a little bit. I'm going to move a little bit further down so you'll be able to see it, because it looks like it in the light. It looks in this light it looked white. So we'll go down further. Just so now you can see the orange reddish illumination on that. Alright, we'll run back. So this is speed step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll actually use the independent brake to stop it. So the independent brake, you don't hear any brake squeal. Now we're going to do this, and we're actually going to put the throttle right to 0. We're at speed step 10. Okay, so you got your brake squeal. So now we'll demonstrate the drive hole. So, the right direction here. So right now we're at speed step 4. So we're going to simulate a heavier load by using the drive hold. So this Athearn 484 is a good runner, very highly detailed. Athearn was renowned for its detail for as long as I've known, and the addition of the Loksound is the essentially what the modelers have been asking for. When I had done a review on the Bowser, or not the Rivarossi 484, sorry, the big boy, the 4884, and did a comparison video between that and the Rivarossi version, most of the guys at the club and people that seen the videos said they wish that they could have the sound file that the Rivarossi had used, like the actual hardware that Rivarossi uses, which was Loksound, and the detail and the lighting that Rivarossi had in the Athearn Genesis detail, and here it is. So the lighting functions all work great. The sound is nice and crisp and clear, and I actually had watched a bunch of videos of this specific locomotive running outside Cheyenne and through with the excursion tours, and listening to the horn and the chuffs. It does sound very realistic to me, and in fact this is recorded like all the sound file comes directly from that from this locomotive 844. So I believe that the only sticking point is if that coupler between the tender and the actual locomotive becomes an issue in the future. I've known Athearn has used this in the past in their Yellow Box Genesis series. I remember seeing the coupler go into the tender in a similar style, and so far I haven't heard too much about it, so it may be a non-issue. Any feedback or any people that have had any issues, I gladly would appreciate hearing from that. I just think it may be a sticking point or a problem for anyone that is pulling large loads, and if that plastic does fatigue at all, you could have experienced an issue with the tender becoming disengaged from the actual steam locomotive. So yeah, this is a very great, good offering from Athearn. It's a good sign for the future that they stopped up and remade this and have started switching over to Loksound. A lot of customers will like this as well, just because it is Loksound. And so now you've got the detail that Athearn Genesis does, and the fantastic sound file and the actual control that Loksound has versus a Loksound. Thank you for watching this video. Would like to thank Pierre Oliver for allowing us to operate this locomotive on his layout. And for more information or more pictures of Pierre Oliver's layout depicting the Cayuga subdivision between Windsor and Delhi in 1951, you can look at it in Model Railroad Planning, the 2018 edition. So for Railway City Hobbies, thank you for watching. Happy modeling.